Hi guys, this is me trying to install Hilltech quick shifter to my Ducati multistrada 1200 2017. Hopefully this will help to someone. I've tried my best to locate the camera to show you as much as I could. dismantle this. This goes in here, pull it out. It's just on the 2 clips like that. Just pull gently out from the rubber grommets, and then you have 4 bolts to undo those, slide them out. So then I'm hoping once I undo those 2 bolts, I can lift the tank up to get access to the injector cables. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh bugger, don't think this is gonna work. No, this is just a bracket. The tank is actually sliding from here, so no shortcuts taken, unfortunately. Grey ring, and to push this grey ring and then pull this out while this grey ring is pushed in. So, hold on. Connector for your immobilizer for your keyless ignition. basically says ing, that's for the injectors plug, and that's what we need to do. Just basically this one goes into this one like that, and then this one goes in here. And now I just need to tuck in this nice and neat for all the others. Got a few. We'll go. Nearly ready. This one will go under the bolt for the plastic trim that comes over here. I reckon. Yeah. Maybe we'll take this one out. Nah. I'll just This is the clamp I was talking about for the fuel overspill. Those two black ones, it goes right on the ground. under the beacon and it's on the other side, so now I need to undo this bolt to push this under the beacon. Two bolts on the other side to bolt it in. See, like that. So now this is a tricky one to push it in. There you go, like this. In. Yeah, looks like it. Just try to go. While I push it in here, just push that into this one as well, so it will go on their own slopes. Yeah. This will go into that hole. Go. Now I need to put those 4 bolts here and put the top plastic back on. So now this cover, this is your emergency ignition. So you can press this one and now your ignition pops in. Oh, because I've got the keys so close, but normally it takes like about 5 seconds to come on, and then we'll ask you for the pin, and this is just in case your battery will go flat on your key or you lose the key somehow, so at least you can do some miles, whatever you've got left fuel in the tank to go back home or into the nearest garage. Unfortunately I didn't realize my battery went flat, so I don't know when that happened. Not really sure. Yeah, which point I finished and what you've seen, what not. It's gone now, unfortunately. So this is not the final setup. Probably you've lost it only how to put it on, the plastics back on. You can find that one. Yeah, so it shows on one of those, so BD CQS W1, so that will be just W on the application, either the old version or the new version. This is the new, I believe, new version with the Wi-Fi, not the Bluetooth. So let me try to connect to the application and we'll take it from there. This is how it looks. Application. So the password is Tech. So connected in and capital H EAL capital T ECH, save. There we are. Now we are connected.
Czy ty chcesz mieć auto zapisane na siebie? Czy jeździć autem?
Okay. When you connect it, you've got this details, and then you slide across, and then you've got setup wizard, and then I need to read this instruction. Been disturbed. So I need to start all over again. the Wizard setup is pretty easy and self-explanatory, so I won't be showing that really. Yeah, I think that's it. It's all working, as you can see, and so I'll be going now to test it out on a test ride. Hopefully, I may have recorded something, maybe not today, but definitely when I'll be going Wales next week. Then I may be able to tell more about how is it actually performing and how it runs. Thanks for watching. See you next time.